Welcome friends to another 40k video. Today we look at the origins of the Blood Angels chapter master Dante, or as he was once called, Lewis. Spoilers for Dante by Guy Haley throughout. Let's get straight into it. We pick things up with him on Baal Secundus. Lewis's father sits with him and they see in the sky the fortress of the angels. His father explains what they are to him, how they protect everyone. Lewis's mother had died giving birth to him, and this affected his father. It killed the joy that he could find in life. And so when the time arrived, Lewis wanted to go for Blood Angel selection. But his father does not want to lose anyone else. He says his son is too kind, so Lewis sneaks out one night to join them. He steals a bike and then loses it when he sleeps, and it sinks beneath a tarry mud salt crust. He could not risk going in for it, and so with painful slowness he crawled to safer ground. But he had left in his struggle a bottle of water behind, and he would need it to live in the heat. The salt wastes offered no shade, but he completely loses it in his attempt to retrieve it. So he would now have to travel at night. But the dark held dangers too, specifically catch spiders. He fights one off and crushes it slowly. His water runs out and the distance wears him down. He struggles but sees a figure in armour which shows him the direction to go in. Then it flew away. A vision of Sanguinius, the Sanguinor, or water loss. He could not be sure. He takes water and more from a boy he finds who has died, and in trade he digs a shallow grave and offered a prayer to the emperor for the deceased boy. Then in a new area, the Craglands, he finds food and water, and it is then that other potential recruits find and join him. They are called Florian and Danielle. Lewis tells them he wants to be an angel to help protect people. They enter as a group a radiation-heavy area and put on suits to help protect them. They pass through the area and rest in a cave, but quickly find in the cave is a rad scorpion. Lewis knocks the tail aside when it's going to strike Florian, and between them they subdue it. Florian says, "You came back for me," and Lewis says, "I will never run." Parched, they find a pool of water, and they can't stop a desperate Danielle drinking from it. But this is thirst water, and it sucks all the water from his body and kills him. They leave their friend behind and make their way into the mountains, where they will have to perform the Angel's Leap. The area is marked by a statue where Sanguinius, it is said, first landed after flying. Flying for the recruits lets them save time and avoid potential dangers on the ground if they can manage to stay in the air anyway. The recruits all have wings, and Lewis did too. They belonged, or had done, to Danielle. Lewis leaps and falls like a stone. The ground rushes up. His mind goes blank, but his body knew what to do, and he flew, and after saw blood eagles taking out other flying candidates. He flew higher as he neared the eagles. He dodged one, then two, and then drew away from them. But over time, with the wind, he was forced to land. He then finds Angel Falls and enters, and ran again into his friend Florian. And so finally, Lewis gets to see the Blood Angels he wants to be a part of. Two will judge the candidates. It said, "Yours will be a life of constant war and hardship, with no satisfaction but that of war, and no rest but that of death. There will be no love but that of your brothers, no family, nothing to pass on to future generations, save the stories of your deeds and service to humanity." Arazan, one of the angels, tested Lewis with a needle-laden device, and he passes the radiation level test. The angel asks his name. He says his name is Lewis, and he says he has come to serve the Emperor and mankind. And when asked by the tester again, he confirms his angel name, That is Dante. He then enters the first winnowing, where people are tested physically. He passes that and does the same in other physical tests, and so enters the next stage. Florian, Lewis and another are mixed with boys from Bals Primus. They are told to work and learn the basics together until the trial of war. There the winning group must take the other group's skull and get into the group's fort. The winner must hold both skulls. Victory is not all. We do not look for ferocity, brotherhood, honour, humility, mercy, restraint, and intelligence we prize above all other qualities, they are told. Lewis says Barazael, their opponent, is aggressive and overly confident. That is his weakness. Lewis takes 7 people whilst his convoys defend their skull back at Lewis's fort with fewer. Florian sees Lewis is right. Barazael has put all his forces into the attack on his team's fort. Lewis, however, only faces 4 to get the skull there. One member vaults him onto the fort wall. Most sentries were at the far wall, hidden by the tower. With his stronger forces, they capture the fort, but show mercy at Lewis's behest to those they capture. They then ambush Barazael's forces when they return with Lewis's skull from his fort that they have captured, and they take both skulls and victory. Even when they chant his name, Lewis feels the weight of the dead on him, and the final test. He must face his friend Florian and kill him, or vice versa. Florian is sorry but attacks first, and it ends when Lewis breaks Florian's elbow. The Blood Angel says to finish him, to get into the chapter, that's what he must do. Lewis refuses and is called a fool, and then he says, I will not repay his kindness with treachery. If that means I am not worthy, I do not care. Kill me. I will not serve masters who demand the blood of my brother. The Blood Angel says, what of glory and power? Dante says he came to serve, and he is shocked to hear that he has passed the test. And the angel says, this was the test of Horus he passed, when one brother turns on another. The Blood Angel also says this was a test for Lewis, not Florian. Florian will not join them. He only wanted to join to survive his illness, but he will still have a role with the angels for as long as he lives. Then, after he is asked if he will become a Blood Angel, Florian says to do it, and the boy Lewis takes the angel's hand and says, I accept. I will become an angel and serve the emperor. And so the legend of Dante begins. Now friends, I turn this over to you. Anything to say? Comment down below.